Book review. Hello everyone, today we're gonna talk about the Crucible, the author Arthur Miller, and why he chose to write this play. Arthur Miller was an American playwright and essayist who lived from 1950 to 2005. His most famous pieces are Focus, All My Songs, which won him a Tony Award, and The Crucible. He received a lot of public attention during the late 40s, 50s, and early 60s. During this time, he received an award called the Pulitzer Prize for Drama, testified before the House of Un-American Activities Committee, and was married to Marilyn Monroe. Miller was a Jewish born in New York City. He was the second of 3 children. Because of his father's career, the family was respected by the community. Miller majored in journalism at the University of Michigan. During the time of his study, he wrote his first play, No Villain, which brought him his first recognition. Because of that, he considered that he could have a career as a playwright and went to a playwriting seminar taught by Professor Kenneth Rowe, which later influenced all Miller's work. In 1940, Miller married to Marie Grace Slattery and had 2 children. He was exempted from the military service during World War II because of an injury in his leg. In 1947, Miller's play All My Sons was a success on Broadway, which established him a reputation as a playwright. In June 1956, Miller left his first wife, Mary Slattery, and married to film star Marilyn Monroe. After 5 years, they divorced because of Monroe drugs problems. In 1956, he appeared before the House of Un-American Activities Committee and was sentenced to a fine and prison sentence, but in 1958, his conviction was overturned. Despite the absence of any major success since the mid-60s, Miller seems to secure his reputation as a major figure in American drama. Between the 60s and 90s, he received several awards and wrote 3 new plays: The Ride of Maud Morgan, The Last Young, The Broken Glass. Miller spent much of 1996 working on the screenplay for the film The Crucible. Miller died on the evening of February 10, 2005 at the age of 89 of heart failure. He will be remembered as one of the greatest American playwrights of the 20th century. After the Second World War, the United States was becoming increasingly concerned about the rising power of the Soviet Union. Worries that the communist wave would infiltrate the USA led to a significant amount of paranoia with the American government and population. This occurred during the late 40s through the 50s, and this period is known as the Second Red Scare or McCarthyism. During the McCarthy era, hundreds of Americans were accused of being communist or communist sympathizers. They became subject of aggressive investigations and questioning before the government or private industry panels, committees, or agencies. In 1952, Elia Kazan appeared before the House of Un-American Activities Committee and named 8 members of the group theater. After speaking with Kazan about his testimony, he returned to Salem, Massachusetts, to research the witch trials of 1692. Miller linked the situation with the House of Un-American Activities Committee to the witch hunt in Salem and decided to write The Crucible. He wanted to show how people are willing to abandon their values to protect themselves and how people can sacrifice others to get what they want. Furthermore, Miller wanted to secure his career as a playwright and to alert American people about the propaganda and misinformation that came from the government.
In telling the story of a New England so gripped by hysteria they killed many of their own residents, The Crucible explores the tension between the repressive forces of a social order and individual freedom. The antagonist in The Crucible is broadly the town of Salem, whose residents temporarily lose their sense of community and vilify one another. But the hysteria of the witch hunts exposes long-simmering resentments and grievances. Even before the witch hunt begins, Proctor's primary motivation is to restore reason in the town. Proctor attacks Paris for focusing on everything other than prayer in his sermons, chastises Putnam for obsessing over his land as a means to increasing his influence, and teases Giles for generally causing trouble throughout Salem. Proctor's rationality blinds him, however, to the dangers of his own indiscretions as he struggles to repair his life in the wake of his affair. The inciting incident of the play occurs when Abigail confesses to witchcraft and the accusations rapidly spiral out of control. The town, already on the brink of fracture, quickly falls apart and neighbor turns on neighbor, both as a way of releasing past anger and also out of fear being implicated in the witch hunts. The rising action accelerates as the trials begin, and Abigail accuses Proctor's wife Elizabeth. Although Abigail told him that Betty isn't actually bewitched, Proctor is hesitant to testify because he fears exposing his affair with Abigail. Here, the antagonist is Proctor's own divided self, the flow of lust that made him commit the affair, conflicting against the moral sense that what's happening isn't just. Proctor compounds his errors by relying on Mary to exonerate Elizabeth. When Hale rejects Mary's confession as an accusation against Abigail, Proctor exclaims, "Common vengeance writes the law." Though alluding to Abigail's feelings, Proctor hides that her revenge stems from jealousy of Elizabeth, not simply anger at Elizabeth for firing her. Proctor decides to go to court as a last resort only after Herrick takes Elizabeth away in chains. The play's climax comes when Proctor finally confesses the affair with Abigail, at last releasing the guilt of his sins and sacrificing his good name to save his wife. His sacrifice is in vain as Elizabeth, seeking to protect her husband's reputation, refuses to verify his story, and Mary accuses Proctor of witchcraft. At this point, most of the town is in such a frenzy. The difference between fact and fiction has been completely destroyed, and the characters have lost all sense of reason. The following action of the play occurs 3 months later when Elizabeth forgives her husband for adultery and says she doesn't want him to die. Realizing that concepts like honesty, honor, and truth have lost all meaning in the town's fearful, paranoid, and vengeance-seeking environment, Proctor agrees to confess even though he knows it is evil. When Danforth insists on recording and publishing the confession for the good instruction of the village, however, Proctor releases that the confession not simply a formality but a political opportunity for the court to validate the witch hunt and justify the executions. His confession then is in direct opposition to his desire to end the hysteria in Salem. While a verbal confession may have no relationship to the truth, signing his name on paper will give credence to the falsehoods being perpetuated by the trial, blackening the names of his friends who have died denying the charges against them. Proctor considers himself as good as that if he has compromised all of his values to escape the gallows. How may I live without my name? The play reaches its resolution when Proctor recants and rips up his confession. In doing so, he is signing his dead word, but preserving the good names of his friends and exposing the hypocrisy of the witch hunts. In ripping up the confession, Proctor reasserts his identity as an individual while also taking a step toward restoring his community to sanity. "I do think I see some shred of goodness in John Proctor," he says, referring to himself in the third person. This formulation suggests that he knows that rather than going down in history for signing a false confession against his neighbors, his name will be remembered for his refusal to compromise, even at the cost of his life. But because his tragic flaws have led to the death of other innocent characters, he knows he cannot live. Elizabeth seems to understand the sacrifice he is making both for the town and for their family and doesn't ask him to reconsider. The play ends with Proctor and Rebecca Nurse, who has also refused to confess, being led to the